So it looks like I'm going to be continuing the tradition of having to take back pretty much every bit of review, commentary, or criticism on this game. Very early on, I said that it seemed actually fairly linear, that there's only one way to progress. And in fact, I could not have been more wrong, because it seems that the entirety of this human citadel was actually a totally optional area. I did not have to come through here. So, but I'm glad I did. I mean, I think it's a very cool looking place. Like I said, I like the combination of you know, modern and kind of medieval elements. It's really neat. Alright, so, but it looks like we have a heck of a lot of backtracking to get to now. So, now that I'm done whining about it being too linear, I'm probably going to start whining about it being too open-ended, considering the fact that you do not have access to a map or anything of the like. Nope. There we go. Just in the nick of time. Alright, so let's see if we can make our way back out of the human citadel and onward to whichever vampire we're supposed to be killing right now. Now, a little bit of credit I do have to give the game's designers and actually writers specifically. I'm really surprised I haven't seen more of that 90s, like, bad attitude symptom. Like, you remember old Sonic the Hedgehog, like when he's on the cartoon, he's like, yeah, I'm mean, full of two, dude. You know, there's that that kind of like wannabe badassness to a lot of productions from this time period, and that's actually refreshingly devoid in this game. I mean, Raziel is not. He's not really overplaying that whole tortured soul bit. You know, kind of what I would call like the God of War syndrome. He's a little bit monologue-ish, for sure, but no more than Max Payne. But, alright, looks like... What's up here? Is this just so I can access a weapon? Looks like it. But how cool is this place? I mean, look at it. It seems like the rest of Nosgoth is kind of a shitty place to live, but man, this place is quite nifty. I apologize for the state of my voice right now. I was actually up all night laying down some auditions for a voiceover, and the character was a very low, gruff, growly kind of person. So I spent like 2 hours gruffing and growling, and definitely took a number on my vocal cords. Oh, look out. So I'll be back to normal soon. Watch out for him. Alright, so this is the castle and their moat. Looks like the only way back is to head through that door. In fact, I think I remember coming through that door on my way over here, right? Maybe, maybe not. Because I remember there's this little archer guy. It's a shame that the action button is actually the same as your attack button, so you end up slashing away at doors. But once again, we're dealing with a pretty limited control set here. Remember this, but I don't think it's the way I need to go. No, this just takes me up to that ledge. Well then. There's something else I'm missing here. Doesn't seem to be anything in their moat. Well, this doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. How did I actually get into this area in the first place? Through there. Also, in addition to that, I went back and reviewed some of my earlier Let's Plays on this series. I noticed that the audio quality itself was a little bit variable. Once again, I apologize for that as well. it's mostly due to I have a separate setup for my audio configuration when I'm doing Let's Play commentaries versus when I'm doing voiceovers, and I forgot to switch from the voiceover configuration to this. But in addition to that, honestly, my mic could definitely stand to be a little bit better, which I'm hoping to upgrade it fairly soon. Spend some other way I got in this area. I'm actually looking at getting a Blue Yeti USB mic. Seems to, like, for the price, it actually seemed to be a really, really good bang for your buck. It usually runs, I think about $100, and really, really high quality. I mean, you're not going to be doing like studio quality vocal recordings on it, but no, there's nothing here. Might as well explore them though. Hey, what do you do? Oh, I think this is how I got in here. Yeah, because remember I had to swim to get here first. So. Also, in case anybody's wondering, you know, anything about my setup that I use for recording, by all means, just go ahead and drop a comment and ask me any details. I'll be happy to share it with you. I use Bandicam recording software to record, and do not use Fraps. Fraps was just... There's a couple of problems with Fraps. Number one... Oh, I keep unplugging that controller. A big issue with Fraps is you have very little control over the actual quality that it records at. It just kind of records massive, big file sizes with very little knobs for you to twist and turn. I mean, I definitely go for the highest quality that I can get away with here, but we are uploading these to YouTube, and YouTube itself has limitations on what quality videos they'll put out. Like, for example, YouTube defaults to 30 FPS. It might even be 25 FPS. What's that? Snow rash? If it's snow, we are definitely in the right area, because he said something about being the mountain ice dungeon. Just gotta figure out which way to go. Seems like I actually get up there. We're gonna try anyway. Yeah, so like YouTube, for example, will not. They'll compress your video down to 30 FPS, so that it's absolutely useless to record in 60 FPS and artificially inflate your video file size, and also you take a major performance hit when you're recording at high levels like that. So Bandicam is actually really configurable, which I really like. You've got a whole host of quality settings, and then within those quality settings you can actually tweak all of the bits and bobbles as well, such as not just your resolution, but your frame rate, you know, your bit rate, all that stuff. So listen down, look at this. This gate over here with the Stargate emblem on it. Snowy areas. Once again, this game just a lot of it reminds me of Silent Hill with just the visual cue of it. It's obviously not really a survival horror kind of game, but switching between the two spectral realms and you know, having these large open spaces for you to explore with a relatively small draw distance, and it's a good experience. Oh, alright, whatever, just run. I'm sure I'll just switch back to Spectral World anyway, soon enough. I wonder if they keep this mechanic throughout the rest of the Legacy of Kain series. Like, I know that the first game, you had the constantly draining health mechanic, and I don't think you actually ever got anything that caused that to go away. I'm pretty sure you just had to deal with it literally the entire game. Whereas here you get the Soul Reaver, which definitely helps mitigate that frustration quite a bit. Alright, so remember, this looks like a little pair of jogging legs, like we're jogging up a mountain, so that makes sense, right? I have to invent mnemonic devices in order to know where any of these portals go.